All right. The season is over. Episode 155, the Illini Basketball Podcast, March 17th, 2023. And the Illini lose to Arkansas in the round of 64. And a lot of things are being said to the surprise of nobody.
Yeah, the season's over and the mustaches are gone. So
Yep.
here we go. Illinois, pretty Illinois-like yesterday. A couple 10-0 runs for Arkansas. Illinois gets it within 5, gives up another 10-0 run. Matthew Meyer was obsolete. I don't think he played the last 10 minutes of the game. Got to be happy with the spark that the kids coming back next year, hopefully they're coming back next year, gave the team. But I don't know. Shannon was obsolete for the first 16 minutes of the game. Just kind of weird when, your biggest guys don't show up for the biggest game.
Yeah, if you look at last season when they lost to Houston, other than Kofi, the vets let them down.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that Plummer and Frazier had 8 points in that game, but they were 3 for 13 from 3. RJ had 9 points in that game. Luke Goody made 2 threes at 6. And yesterday, the only time they could really generate anything was with a bizarre young lineup in there. And this is now back-to-back years where RJ Melendez is one of the best players in the tournament game for them. The last tournament game. So that's a good takeaway.
Yeah, RJ went on a little 8-0 run by himself. It seems like he shows up for the last 8 minutes of the tournament every year. So got to take something with that. I think Underwood said about RJ, that's the RJ he expected all year. Of course, we got him for 8 minutes of the year, so guess that's okay.
Well, he had some cool dunks against Minnesota.
Yeah. He had a nice dunk here. Tried to get teed up when Illinois was going on a run again. So
Shannon about tackled him, get him out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not surprising that they lost this game. I think it's hard to win when your vets don't really do anything. I mean, Shannon was okay. He wasn't. I mean, it was really a typical Shannon game.
Yeah, I mean, Shannon ends with 20 somehow.
A fake. It happens all the time. But then he shoots 50% from the field. So you're like, okay, well,
Yeah, and he made 10 of them from the line. So
yeah.
I think the biggest, the biggest thing was Matthew Meyer. I mean, 0 for 5 from 3. He turned the ball over just dribbling outside the lane. Arkansas plays a very erratic defense, I guess. People were worried about how the Big Ten was going to be officiated once they got in the tournament. And from what I've seen, the SEC plays a lot more handsier than the Big Ten did all year. So, nothing against, not trying to say refs or anything like that, but the way they let Walsh guard Coleman was a little crazy. I mean, he had 2 hands on him almost the whole time. The one steal he got, he basically grabbed Coleman and pulled him backwards.
Yeah.
But I think Coleman, probably you could say he was the player of the game here, if not RJ. The only thing that kills you about Coleman is the 6 turnovers.
Yeah.
He makes some unnecessary no-look passes, especially when they're 60-foot passes.
I would almost give player of the game to Luke Goody. I mean, 6 points, 4 rebounds, and assists, made 2 big threes. And also with Meyer,
I didn't realize Luke fouled out of the game.
Yeah, 5 fouls. When with a guy like Meyer, when they're not falling, it's bad. He doesn't give you anything. And there was 3 of those 5 threes that were in and out.
Yeah, and wide open too.
Yeah, couldn't buy one.
It's weird. RJ and Coleman both made comments about how we basically didn't listen to the coach and we did whatever we wanted. I don't know if they were taking shots at Matthew Meyer, but seemed like that. Coleman said, quote, "It's not hard to swallow. It's expected when you don't move the ball and you don't execute." Coleman went hard in his post game. Made some comments about Sky Clark.
Good.
And having a guy bail on you, basically, is what he said.
Yeah, and then the guy commits to a school that won 4 goddamn games last year.
Yeah.
Like, right after the game. Like, that's you know what? Honestly, about Sky Clark, I think he's a quitter. I don't care what you say. You can go ahead and come after me on Twitter if you want. I tweeted, I think Sky's a quitter. If I'm not allowed to tweet that, I take it back. But like, what are we doing here? Like, how many times are we going to see an athlete like seemingly take advantage of the whole saying that you have like mental health problems? And maybe he did. I don't know. It
Well, yeah. Well,
doesn't smell right.
his uncle came out and said that he was taking care of his dad because he was basically dying of diabetes and all this stuff. So I mean, if that's true, then I feel for him, but I don't know how going to Louisville changes anything.
Yeah, I like that doesn't really make any sense.
The biggest thing takeaway from that is that Illinois put all their eggs in one basket to get Sky Clark, and Sky Clark basically slapped him. I think that the reason he posted it right after the game is because he couldn't post it. He had to stay committed to Illinois to get his NIL money. Is the word on the streets? I don't know. So if Illinois wins that game, I guess he waits until Illinois actually loses. So it was weird. Yeah, but I think he committed to DePaul first, then Kentucky, then Illinois, and now he's going to Louisville. So
and he went to like 47 high school. So I think this is people are trying to talk about Illinois' culture because of what Coleman said. I think the Sky Clark thing is more Sky Clark than Illinois. And also, it wouldn't surprise me if this is the thing we look like 3 years from now, if we look back and say Underwood, like going all out for Sky Clark, got him fired. Like that wouldn't surprise me if that happened in 3 years because this year was a disaster and it shouldn't have been this bad.
Yeah. And I think that, it sounded like Coleman also with his commitment thing, like it sounded like, you told people that you were going to do these things. It sounded like he was kind of going after Matthew Meyer, like Matthew Meyer, I don't know, was guaranteed to do whatever he wanted is what it felt like. And that's what it looked like a lot of the season which when Matthew Meyer was good, he was good, but he's been brutal lately. So,
he hasn't really been actually good probably since
he was good the Michigan game. He brought that up yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know if he was even good in that game.
Yeah.
He made 4 threes. I'd say the Wisconsin game on the road, he was pretty dominant, 26 points. But
the fact that Matthew Meyer played 22 minutes says a whole hell of a lot about Matthew
Meyer.
Yeah,
least amount of minutes since December 17th against Alabama A&M. He played 20. He also did play 22 against Bethune-Cookman, but I just don't – I don't know. I love the guy, kind of. I wanted it to go better with him here.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this is like people are trying to say Illinois season was lost because of the portal. I don't agree with that. I think the portal is good, but I think maybe Illinois needs to approach it in a different fashion. I don't know if getting guys you have to promise that much stuff to,
right,
is like, come on.
Yeah, I did see one of the. I was on Twitter all night last night for some reason because what else do you do after you lose?
Yeah, why not?
There was a comment that said there's a reason why one of the best basketball coaches in college had Matthew Meyer as a role player. So
yeah, well, I think there's a couple factors for that, but I mean.
Yeah. Underwood, of course, said hats off to Arkansas. They were better today. Typical Brad Underwood. He said that they were going to go to the portal and get some rock stars. So how's that make everybody feel?
Jameer Nelson Jr., come on down.
Over under 7.5 games before Sky quits on Louisville.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I think I'd take the over there, but I think it'll be like 10 games because they're going to start. Like, I love how he tweets L's up. Yeah, dude. 28 L's last season. L's up.
That was a good one.
That's sick, yeah.
Everybody that thinks RJ's leaving, he did say afterwards, he said, for future seasons, we can't make that many mistakes. We just have to stay connected as a team. We need to listen to our coach. It's our fault because he's calling them and we're not listening. Him and Coleman both said this, by the way.
Let me just throw this out there. For the players that played yesterday, here's who I want back. Coleman Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take RJ back. Goody, Rogers, sincere. I could go either way on Epps at this point, but I'll take him back. And should I say Shannon? I know Shannon's not coming back, but should I say Shannon? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll come back or not.
I don't think he will. Coleman seems like somebody who wants to come back, but I don't know.
Coleman talked about, I thought it was interesting. He talked about Trent and Kofi and them talking about the culture. And, he really didn't understand it until he got, into this season. And he said that he tried to take a different approach to it, and that was a mistake. Which, I guess, I don't know. I really don't. But
he made a couple threes yesterday. How about that? I love how Illinois doesn't know they suck from three. Like, they double up Arkansas on three.
Yeah, and that's what, we looked at the stats and everything going into this game, and they were all pretty similar. But the big difference is Illinois shoots 22 and Arkansas shoots 11. I think that says a lot about Musselman, too. Musselman had a great game plan. Shannon couldn't go left this game. He knew that. Or couldn't go right, sorry. He went right a lot. Didn't work out very well. When Ty Rogers was playing the point, he forced Ty Rogers left. They basically knew that, he put pressure on them. They're going to cough the ball up. Illinois had 17 turnovers. So
also, Arkansas seems to know their identity more than Illinois. They took 52 twos. Illinois took 30.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be surprising. Musselman, 2 straight Elite Eights going into this year. Talked about Illinois as if he had already known and worked on some game planning for them right after it was selected. And, I guess our coach is more concerned with stuffing his fat face with popcorn.
That's true. You held Nick Smith to 6 points.
Nick Smith is a ready-made NBA player with the way he plays.
Yeah. 2 for 10 from the field for him. So I got dogs in.
But 29 free throws for Arkansas, 26 for Illinois. Ricky Council got to the line 12 times, or not 12 times, but took 12 attempts from the line. It was a bit of a coaching mismatch, if we're being honest. I think Brad's a good coach. I would love for him to be back this next year, but not great. And I think I retweeted a tweet that said this, I don't know who it was on Twitter, said that they were worried about Brad for the first time since 2020 or something. So I don't know. Obviously Brad will be back next season, but I feel like if they're worse next season, which I think is possible, there's a lot of time, but who knows?
The only thing I feel like next season, like you saw it when the young guys were in, they move the ball.
Yeah.
They're unselfish. I feel like that's how Brad wants the team to be, but I felt like when they talk about running plays and stuff like that, it seems like his plays are, hey, we're ISOing TJ right now. Hey, we're ISOing Matthew Meyer right now. He doesn't actually have plays to run.
He writes on the board. He writes NIL on the board or something.
Yeah.
NIL-TJ or something. But notice how I didn't say I want Dane Danger back next season. Notice how I didn't say that.
I did notice that.
But I think Dane could probably be better in an offense that actually knows what they're doing, which I think next year they might. I think it depends on what they do in the portal. I see people saying they want Jamison Battle. It's like, he's played in the Big Ten. I don't know. If Coleman and RJ are back, doesn't make that much sense to me, but I think the priority in the portal has got to be guards, point guard.
You need a point guard.
Yeah.
It was fairly obvious yesterday what Illinois was missing.
And
Coleman Hawkins is a great point guard when he has Zach Edey guarding him.
Arkansas has 2 point guards in their lineup. Devo Davis and Anthony Black, both point guards. And Ricky Council probably could do it too, and Nick Smith could probably do it.
Yeah.
So it's just they have a good mix. Like you said, they are what Brad wants Illinois to be in terms of the way they play and the talent. I think Brad just wants Illinois to move to the SEC at this point, but whatever.
They don't have the athletes to play at the SEC level. So
no, but
just get that out of the way. I don't know if you read these.
I didn't.
I feel like the cadence of the team was just off this year with TSJ and Meyer. Might not be the case, but it seemed different than Plummer coming here. Yeah, it definitely seemed something. And like Brad just like I think he knew going into this game that these guys weren't going to do anything. Like we Illinois wasn't.
The difference with Plummer is that Plummer came here as like just another piece. Like he wasn't here to be the centerpiece. And I think with the way Brad coaches and the way that this team wants to play and be built is that you probably need to find your top player and develop them rather than bringing in somebody from the portal. But that's kind of really hard to do nowadays because if a kid doesn't play a lot in his first year, he might transfer and, end up at Santa Clara. But I'm not talking about anybody specific.
Just
So
just named a specific
I don't know.
school. Okay.
Well, you never Santa Clara is normal,
6 schools in 6 years says it all for Sky. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to like Sky, but I'm out on him. Just the way that everything went down is bullshit. So
in the next week, how many Illinois players enter the portal?
I'm nervous about this. I think it might be like 2, but
yeah.
I don't know who it would be. I mean, Dane maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully, please, dear God.
Can Sincere develop a shot over the summer?
That's a big question. His free throws look sharp yesterday.
22% as a guard.
It's almost impossible, honestly.
It seems impossible. Yes.
Well, let's put it this way: our 2 best freshman defensive players shot a combined 16 for 51 from the free throw line. That is horrific.
Yeah, and they're 2 guys that like scoring at the basket, so it's not good that you want to be in the lane, but you can't make any free throws.
Yeah, and I mean 17 for 26 yesterday. Dane missed 3, Shannon missed 3, Meyer missed 1, Sincere missed 2. Also, here's another thing that bothers me: 3 offensive rebounds. Seriously, 3.
Yeah.
This team atrocious at rebounding, by the way, because their big man has cement blocks on his feet and can't move his feet. How many times we see Dane Danger on the defensive end just be completely lost trying to overextend or leave his guy and just getting burnt? It was horrible yesterday. And Dane didn't play well against any real competition, honestly. I mean, I guess Iowa, he had a good game, 17 points, 9
Iowa
rebounds.
doesn't have a center, though.
Exactly. And Rutgers, he was 7 for 12 with 7 boards, 15 points. But guess what? Cliff was in foul trouble most of that game.
Yeah.
And Michigan State, I'll say Michigan State, who also doesn't have a presence, he had 20 points. So if they don't have the ability to guard a center, Dane could really get you some good minutes. But other than that, not a good year for Dane Danger. And he was the thing about Dane is that he's 63% from the field, so he's very efficient. It's just his defense is unbelievably bad. He makes Kofi look like Hakeem Olajuwon. It's just insane.
Man, Matthew Meyer played some uninspired defense yesterday. For one to say he's the best defender in the league or in college basketball. I mean, he literally the guy was at the free throw line on that one, and he got behind him somehow. He went from in front of him to behind him. I don't know what he's doing. I think Matt was 1 of 21 or something, but I don't know. Yeah.
It's not surprising that this season ended as a fiery car wreck. I mean, the team wasn't up to snuff. What can you do? I didn't expect them to win this game at all. I tried to be positive by picking them. Yeah. We tried to alter the mojo. It didn't work.
You can't score 10 points in the first 10 minutes of the game and expect to have a chance. That's all there is to it.
I think they scored 8 points in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, and you say that we didn't run what we were supposed to run. I feel like that's specifically calling out somebody, right? Because if Coleman and RJ are both on the court and they're both saying this, then whose fault was it? I assume it's not Coleman and RJ's.
Probably Shannon.
I don't know.
Well, Jaden Epps, his season ended poorly, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there must have been something going on. He must have not felt right, I assume.
That's a guy who I'm just expecting him to enter the portal. I hope he doesn't, but I'm expecting him to do that just because I feel like one of them's going to do it.
Yeah, and I guess I say that he didn't feel right, but then again, Underwood just completely attacked him after he had one bad drive to the hole. RJ did the same thing. Nobody really called that out. Shannon and Meyer were out for themselves, I feel. I don't know if Shannon so much was. Matthew Meyer 1,000,000,000% was only about Matthew Meyer. Would you have taken, if you could do it all over again, would you switch him with Pete Nance?
No.
No?
Because guess what? Where the hell would this team be from 3 if they had Pete Nance at the 4?
I don't know.
Worse than Mississippi State, who was last in the country?
Maybe.
But maybe if they had Pete Nance, they would know their goddamn identity and they wouldn't take 1,000,000,000 threes, but probably not.
True.
Also, Pete Nance is a North Carolina team that didn't make the tournament, so, I mean,
Pete Nance, 32%. That would have been second on the team. It would have been first, actually.
I forgot that he's not that bad from
Meyer.
3. Sorry, I was trying to defend my guy. Actually, Pete Nance shot 45% from 3 in the Big Ten last year.
Yeah.
And he could play the 4 and the 5. I still think I'd take Meyer, but that's just me. I don't know. I feel
like Coleman could have said that about TSJ too. If you notice, anytime they get down, TSJ just bull rushes his way to the lane and doesn't run any offense at all.
He thinks he's Giannis. He's trying to play football on the basketball court.
Yeah, and you know what? Arkansas knows all you do is stick a hand in and he'll chuck it out of bounds. So
this team was so hard to watch. And Goodman's tweet was on point. Illini fan, we were ready for that to be done. I mean, that was just a disaster. Honestly, I think Underwood had a pretty bad year in terms of actual coaching this year, but it's kind of hard to blame him when you have like an entirely new team. You have guys that don't really want to play team basketball.
Yeah, lost 86% of your scoring. And that's why the only thing that bothers me is him talking about going to the portal and getting rock stars. I mean, go to the portal and get guys that can help your team. We don't need rock stars. We need guys that want to play for Illinois. We don't need guys that want to boost their China draft stock.
It's true. We don't really have any real NBA guys. I'm trying to find this tweet here. Let's see. Razorbacks just ended Illinois season. Pretty sure Illini fans couldn't watch much more of this anyway. Yeah, it's on point.
Fair assessment.
I already forgot the name of the Louisiana Tech guard, but I would like him if he would like us.
Okay.
Which I don't know if he will. I mean, he's seems like a good player. Kobe Williams, 6-foot guard. He's played 4 years at Louisiana Tech, shot 34% from 3 last year. Good enough for me. 80% from the free throw line. That's good. Had 27 points against UAB, who's one of the best teams in that conference, even though UAB doesn't play it. Well, they play a little bit.
Who'd you say?
Defense. Kobe Williams.
He already is going to Tulsa.
Son of a bitch. All right. I'm out on him.
Already lost him. Point guards available right now. Amari Abram is number 1 from
Tracy Abrams.
Nicholas Timberlake, the kid from Towson that 9,000 people are after.
He's going to end up in the Big Ten, but not at Illinois.
Sky Clark's number 3.
That guy's a clown.
Primo Spears from Georgetown.
I would take him. A lot of talent.
Chuck Harris from Butler.
He was at Georgetown, then went to Butler, so a couple of marquee programs in the Big East right now.
Noah Fernandez from UMass.
No interest in UMass after Trey Mitchell.
Mike Mitchell from Pepperdine.
Sure.
Guy from ECU.
There's going to be a lot more in there in like a month, so. Dante
Harris is going to Virginia already. Yeah, so those are kind of.
Where's Jameer Nelson Jr.? Is he a shooting guard? Are they calling him a shooting guard?
I don't know.
I guess he did only average like 4 assists a game. I mean, you could definitely bring in a veteran point guard, but also I wouldn't hate bringing in like a legitimate scoring 2 guard and have Ty Rodgers run some point next season.
Jackson Pavelski.
Yeah, that's who they said that was going to be somebody all over again.
I don't know.
Somebody said that in the chat yesterday during the game.
Yeah, he's from Wisconsin originally.
Yeah, it's going to be Pajimski all over again. I think it's what somebody said.
Wofford. Can Hansberry take over the 4-5 next year if Dane dips, depending on what Coleman does? I guess if you don't run a true center.
If Dane leaves, which is hopefully he leaves.
I don't think Dane's leaving. He'd have to sit out a year. I don't see him going somewhere. He already sat out 1 year.
Well, he's sitting on the bench then,
so he wants to do it again. I hope Epps doesn't leave. I won't be sad if Danger does. I think that's the consensus. Where's Pat Baldwin at now?
Are we talking about the player, the one that went to Milwaukee because his dad was coaching there? If we're talking about the player, he's like on the Warriors G League team or something.
Thought Dane would have been where more than. Yeah. I think Dane was kind of a. I wouldn't even say letdown. I don't think that I don't think I had high expectations from Dane.
His defense was a letdown. When you have that length,
definitely a letdown.
That length, you can't be that bad defensively. And he averaged 9 and 5. It's not horrific, but also I would take him back because I think another year to develop, maybe he could really become something. They just need to change some of the things that he does.
Who's going to develop him? Jeff Alexander? He's too busy traveling to Italy trying to find.
Yeah, that's another problem. Also, have we forgot about Nicolo Moretti, who's definitely going to play next year?
It's true,
and that's a true point guard.
That's true.
So I wouldn't want to rely on him, but he's going to play.
He'd be a nice. I think they got to get an experienced point guard, and then that can help develop a guy like Moretti, right?
Yeah.
I was supposed to say way more, not where more. I gotcha. Scheidweiner, what's going on? Length, sure, but he probably has a negative vertical. Is Perrin coming back, or is he gonzo like Lonzo? Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah,
he's signed with a professional French team. He is out of here.
Yeah, never gonna hear from that idiot again.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was too far.
So far, people looking at Jackson Pavelski. Gonzaga, Virginia, Ohio State, Illinois, Penn State, Iowa State, Stanford, Wisconsin, Georgia, Clemson, USC, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Nebraska, LSU, Minnesota, Missouri, and more. So
he looks like a Gonzaga player to me.
Good luck.
Averaged 15 a game as a freshman at Wofford.
Shot 49% from the field.
39 from 3, 84 from the line. I would totally take this guy, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. So
you need a Courtney Ramey type to take the pressure off of your other guards, like Ramey did for most of the season with Boswell and Kriisa at Arizona. Obviously, Arizona, it didn't work out yesterday, but the point still stands about the reason that you get a guy like Courtney Ramey.
Yeah. Did we hear what Coleman said about Sky? Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Basically said he bailed on him. So, I mean, that's legit what he said. Moretti, think that's his name, will be a guard version of Luka.
Luka is a guard, I guess. You know? I'm not going to put that much expectations into him, but if he can come in, okay, if he comes in, he plays like 15 minutes a game and averages like 7 points and 4 assists. No, 5 points and like 5 assists or 4 assists. That would be fine.
Yeah, I think we need him to be more like a Brandon Smith.
All right.
Braden Smith. More of a in control Curbelo would be good. I would say that's what his game kind of is like. He's more of a true point guard that looks to pass the ball.
Well, also I'd like to see maybe the second unit be manned by a veteran point guard. Moretti could be in there. You got DGL will be in there, I'm sure. Because I have to think that Ty is going to be a starter next year, and Sincere probably will be a starter, depending on what they get in the portal, of course. If they get this Pavelski character, he'll be a starter, probably. Well, I mean, he'd be probably the best scorer on the team next year if he
Lineup as is. I would go with Jaden Epps.
he'll be gone.
That's fine. RJ.
Yep, sure.
Luke Goody.
This is a terrible lineup already.
Is
but okay.
Coleman going to be here?
He said as is. He's still here.
I would go Ty Rogers, Coleman Hawkins.
Yeah, that's not going to do it for me, but we could try it.
That would be my starting lineup. What do you mean?
But then you'd have like
great
five.
start.
You'd have like 500 guards coming off the bench. You'd have Sincere. You'd have DGL. You'd have Moretti. They're probably going to get a guard.
Yeah, they're definitely losing guys in the portal.
It's definitely going to happen. And it's going to suck.
Coleman returning. I personally feel like he's coming back. I would put the odds at 82%.
I'll go 64. Let's play a game here. Let's say you get to protect 3 players from entering the portal at
or
Illinois.
Going to in the NBA, or just the portal.
Just the portal.
Ty Rogers.
Okay, I would pick him as well.
Luke Goody.
Yeah.
And
it's really down to Sincere Epps, I would think.
Yeah. I would go with Epps just because Sincere can't shoot.
I'll take Sincere. Sincere's a culture guy. All right. He's a culture guy.
DGL will start around the start of the Big Ten season. I don't know.
I'm a little worried about him too, because he's a guy who's gone to multiple schools and
I'm not
committed to Purdue and decommitted. So I'm not going to get my hopes too
about DGL. I know that he's an athlete, but Coleman, Ty Goody Harris, Ty Goody Epps.
A lot of people like Goody. Goody would not.
Sounds like a lot of people want Rogers and Goody, and they could care less who else stays.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Illinois is going to have a shocker enter the portal, and it's probably going to be Goody, just so everybody knows.
What if it's Coleman?
If people would want him, people would say, "See you later. Don't let the door hit you on the way out." But I would not agree with that.
There would be a lot of people that say that.
Yeah, because a lot of people are idiots and don't know basketball. Like, you can't just look – if you're looking at the numbers to say how good Coleman Hawkins is, you're an idiot, and you're not watching the games, and you're not paying attention. You don't know ball. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah. Odds on Shannon returning.
17%.
I'd say 20. That sounds right. Steve, what's going on? How you doing today? How you feeling after the loss? DGL is Sky Jr. Just call him Ground. Okay. All right. He actually, I think he jumps higher than Sky, though. So maybe he should be called Sky.
They got Sky and Dennis Evans at Louisville now. They're about to go all out.
They're going to get that Feather kid today, I think.
Who?
Feather? I think his last name's Feather. I don't know.
I thought it was Flowers.
Flowers, that's right. I don't know. It started with an F. It was
6'8",
something to do with nature.
6'8", 5-star
guard.
Yeah.
6'8", complete guard, I guess, is what they call him. So
that team is going to be a disaster next year. They're going to win like 7 games, and all 3 of those guys are going to leave.
Goody was a starter before he got hurt.
Yeah,
he's got to be a culture guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I agree with that. Goody plays his ass off.
Goody's your 3-point shooter next year too.
Yeah, because I think that he's only going to get better shooting the ball. Goody's the kind of guy that puts in the work, and that's what I think we need that from RJ. If RJ stays, RJ's got to put in the work.
I mean, Goody played his most minutes of the season yesterday, tied with Indiana. So
yeah.
And he can't. I mean, from last 3 games from 3, Luke Goody was 6 for 9. So that's. I mean, you take that all day.
Absolutely, especially
ended up at 42%. Pad them stats.
Louisville fans are like, if you weren't with us at 4-28, don't be here when we're 6-26 after adding Sky. I just the thing that killed me about, I guess, Louisville Twitter was like they were bitching about Illinois fans and how toxic they are. Like, do they not understand what happened and then that the guy did it 5 minutes after Illinois loses in the tournament? Do they not understand what happened? Like, I understand if he was going to help his dad and all that stuff, but that doesn't excuse going to Louisville. Supposedly he committed to Kentucky because of Kenny Payne, and that's why he wants to go to Louisville now, but he could have done that last year.
Yeah, and also don't leave 5 seconds after you lose your starting job. Makes you look like a quitter. I mean, what do you want us to say? I don't know why Louisville fans didn't expect, I don't know why Louisville fans expect Illinois fans to be like, "Oh, good luck, Sky. We hope you do so well." No, screw that. He literally upped and left after losing his starting job, and then said it was personal reasons. Which, if it was, fine. But guess what? Personal reasons doesn't mean entering the portal instantly. And also, don't just say, aren't you, if you're going to leave, just say you don't want to be here anymore then. Whatever.
There was talk about beef with Matthew Meyer, supposedly an altercation. Somebody got punched in the face. I don't know. Steve says, expected a loss. This is a new team. It takes a couple of years for a team to play well together. This team will be awesome next year.
They're either going to be first 4 in Dayton or like a 3 seed next year.
Yeah. I think this team can be good. I like the core as long as you can keep your core. That's the problem in college basketball today.
And fire Jeff Alexander.
And firing and getting an X's and O's coach would be good.
Yeah.
That would.
You think Tommy Lloyd's going to get fired at Arizona? Just kidding.
Scheidwander says, you think he actually did lose his starting job, though? He was coming back from an injury and Epps didn't improve much afterwards. I mean, I think the injury was a bunch of BS, personally. But gave Brad an excuse not to play him. I mean, when you look back at the season and in crunch time, Jaden Epps played and Sky Clark didn't. So,
and Sky had one game where you look at and you're like, man, Sky was awesome in that game, and it was Lyndon Wood.
Yeah. I mean, I think Sky's going to be good at Louisville.
There's just so much going on with having him. There's just so much. It's like, I mean, you got Jamie Foxx in his Instagram comments like saying good luck or let's go or whatever after coming in. It's just like, it's Hollywood. That's not what Illinois is.
Yeah. Sky is going to suck. Dude has no real character, but do you need character to play for Louisville?
I mean, he's a major upgrade from fucking L. Ellis.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, what are we doing? I mean, that's
bombing in the podcast.
Yeah, why not? I don't know. I feel we spent a lot of time talking about a guy who hasn't been here for 3 months.
That's true. What else you guys want to talk about?
Jaden Epps, All-American? No, I'm just kidding. Could Epps go to Virginia, you think? I mean, that would be a good fit if he leaves, right? Kihei Clark career ending on that. It's pretty bad. At least we're not Virginia. Actually, I wish we were Virginia. I would take as many first-round exits as you want to give me if you want a national championship.
With a natty, absolutely.
And that is another problem in college basketball. It's like people are like piling up on Virginia because they lost in the first round again. It's like, okay, they won a national championship 4 years ago. So
yeah,
I think anybody would take that. Plus, my good friend Tony Bennett, keep turning the heat up on him. He'll come to Illinois. He'll do it right in front of everybody's face.
Underwood to Texas was the big talk. So,
who said that?
Everybody yesterday.
Everybody, as in like the fans who want him gone?
I think you said it like 6 times.
Well, I was just trying to speak it into existence, but it was a joke.
Yeah, but Meyer had a big head because he won a natty. Yeah, as a role player. Let's not forget that.
I don't really like the Meyer slander, but I understand it.
Gone. Who cares?
How many minutes did he play in the national championship? 16 minutes. Hit one shot.
He only played 6 more in his round of 64 exit with Illinois. So,
second round against Wisconsin that year, he had 17 points. So that was good.
I feel like Brad didn't know how to reel him back. You know what I mean?
I don't think you can if he's going to start and be like the guy.
Yeah, but you saw it kind of earlier with Meyer calling stuff out. But I want Harris, Rogers, RJ, and Luke to return. Pro lost his magic when he cut the mullet.
Then he got the mullet back and couldn't make a shot.
He even tried the headband yesterday. Didn't help.
Disaster.
Meyer was the only reason they won a few of their games.
Wisconsin on the road was a huge one. Yeah. But
Meyer was really good for about 4 games.
Whoa, that feels low. Well, let's see. Texas, 21 points.
In a row. 4 games.
Alabama A&M, 21 points.
Woo! That's like saying Ty Clark was good. Calm down.
Okay, this is the same Illinois team that was like up 2 late in the like with 8 minutes to go against this team. This is the same Illinois team that got outscored 18-6 against Alabama A&M in the first 10 minutes of the second half. So you know what? They needed those points from Meyer.
Yeah.
19 against Michigan State. You remember the Michigan State game? He was great. At Wisconsin, 26. At Iowa, 21. At Indiana, 24. Had 24 in the Michigan game. So let's all relax a little bit. It's not like he came here and completely mailed it in and played horribly.
You're rambling off a lot of 20-point games and he averaged 12.5. So
Brad didn't put him in the right spots, obviously.
Didn't run enough plays for him, sure.
Plays for Meyer would be him trying to like fight or like get around a screen or getting a screen, trying to go around it and just kind of leaning into a shot and either falling for a foul or missing. That's what the plays that they ran for him. And like he stopped trying to score around the basket like the last 3 games, I feel like. Maybe he did against Michigan. I think he did against like was he in the lane on the offensive end one time yesterday? There's no way. Probably because Danger just sitting there being like, "Oh, let's feed Danger. Yeah, this will work. Let's feed Danger because he's not going to get called for a hook." Disaster on the offensive end. See, ACG, that's a great comment. Great comment. Meyer is a silly goose. That's a perfect way to describe him. He definitely didn't play well the last few games, but did anyone play well? Not really. No, I think you can make an argument that Luke Goody played well the last 2 games. I thought Coleman Hawkins was pretty good against Penn State, and he was not bad yesterday. So I don't know. I feel like the team just didn't have it in them really. With my thoughts.
Bring D Brown in as this isn't. I don't think so.
No interest.
Meyer walked out to a 3-point shooter with no effort. If he doesn't score, he doesn't play defense. I agree. Matthew Meyer's biggest downfall yesterday was his defense. That's why Brad couldn't afford to play him. I'll take a few missed threes wide open, but if you don't want to play defense, get on the bench. 1 rebound also. So
yeah.
All right. Well, basketball's getting ready to start. So
yeah, my bracket's in good shape.
Yeah, I had people asking, you doing playback today?
Probably not. Probably do it tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't really. I didn't get to watch like half the games yesterday, so I kind of want to just. Plus, I got a friend coming over for the Kentucky game, so probably just hop on playback tomorrow. Probably for the earlier. Probably get on there at like 11 or whatever the first game is. I don't even know what the first game is. It might be like Furman, San Diego State or something. But yeah, shout out to Penn State. I feel good for Penn State fans because in 2020 they had an elite team, didn't get to play in the tournament. They maybe got it the worst out of everybody not being able to play in the tournament because it had been forever. And Penn State last night was seemingly the Penn State that we've seen the last month, which is making everything.
Yeah.
59% from 3 against Texas A&M in the first round.
Yeah. I had a buddy question Penn State's offense. I said, yeah, they got a second-team All-American and 4 guys that shoot 40% from 3.
And one of them that shot 80% from 3 yesterday.
Pretty good chance to make a run with that.
If you can win, if you beat Texas A&M in the first round by 17 when you're All-American is 7 for 18 from the field.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing. And I would say Jalen Pickett is one of the most impactful transfers on a program in the last 3 years, because and Funk too.
Jalen Pickett is going to get Shrewsbury paid one way or the other.
And let's also throw this out there. Penn State is a pretty good model for what you want to be when it comes to the portal and keeping your guys around. Miles Dredd, Seth Lundy have been there forever. That could be like Illinois, Ty Rogers, and Sincere Harris 2 years from now. But the difference is that those guys can't shoot. But point stands in terms of how long they've been there. But they bring in Cameron Winter from the portal. He's been hit or miss, but they're not really relying on him to do too much. Funk has just been unbelievable from three. And
we need a Funk. Hopefully Goody can be a Funk next year.
Yeah, I mean, Funk shot 42%. How does he go? I think this says more about Shrewsbury and Pickett and their offense than anything. Funk goes from the Patriot League, which is one of the worst leagues in the country, Bucknell, plays for a team that was 336 out of 363 on KenPom last year, makes 23 more threes this year, and shoots 6% better at Penn State in the Big Ten. That says a lot about the offense that they run and what Pickett had 8 assists yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Shrewsbury, hopefully he goes to Notre Dame or Georgetown.
Yeah, so join us next year for our Penn State podcast.
Shout out to Penn State.
So what's the game plan here? I don't know. For people that are new, I know we got a lot of new people this year that came in. We usually do one a month in the off season. But I guess we need to do end of the year rewards, sending out rewards to people.
Probably maybe try to do that before Thursday next week.
Okay.
Because we also have a Sweet 16 preview show. Probably Monday. So, stay around for that 3-hour show. And I would say kind of just play it by ear, because I know we did one for Meyer last year when he committed, and that was in May, I think.
Yeah, we'll probably have some emergency ones, shorter podcasts when people make announcements.
Enter the portal.
So, but we appreciate everybody all year that has came out, hung out with us, and we plan on keep doing it. We're going to keep on keeping on, as they say.
Yeah. So, I mean, we will not be gone forever. And there's going to be some potential things coming this offseason, maybe some changes to some things. So we'll see what happens with this podcast. Not like either of us is leaving, but that whatever
Ethan's
I said.
Leaving, folks.
No. That thing in the top right corner might look different next year. Just keep it that way.
We'll see. Maybe a little rebranding coming.
We'll see. I also want to get into the merch game this summer and next season, so we'll try to figure that out as well. And watch party wise, next year I think the good plan would be probably to do the in the normal watch party like yesterday during the bigger games, and then maybe when they're playing like Monmouth or Eastern Illinois or whatever, hop on playback for those.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And shout out to our sponsors that were in the watch parties. We don't talk about them on this, but AC Crew, Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon in Mattoon, and Brady Evans Beef and More. That's what I'm going to call him because he didn't give me something to call him. Those guys supported us for the watch parties. So we appreciate you all season long, and we'll be back. We'll be back before Thursday, so we'll be back soon.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody who listens to me being a moron all year. I would say the most negative podcast in America. Some would say, but I mean,
probably
gave it our best shot yesterday. I'll say that as a podcast, and
we did.
I wish we could have done a post game, but it just didn't add up. And,
it's all good.
Yeah, we'll see everybody next week. See how many teams are left in the Big Ten next week when we do the podcast. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say Penn State beats Texas. Go Nittany Lions, right? But yeah, Penn State and probably Purdue. Well, maybe not Purdue, actually, based on my picks. Whatever. All right, we'll see everybody next